I should mention as well, if you happen to be a farmer or maybe an agricultural enthusiast, I can certainly tell you probably will be enjoying this quite a lot, or maybe upset because it's not representing your profession properly. But either way, Namz, how do you feel about this one?
It's a good little horror game. That's about it. No.
Anyway, next game. Now, Namz, I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day when I used to buy Wii Sports, I'd actually get all of the sports included at launch.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here. Like,
It's like buying a puzzle and they only give you a limited amount of pieces.
yeah, they throw out each puzzle piece every month, and you know, it's ridiculous.
It's nuts. It's crazy, but.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? OutlawClient here, and welcome back to yet another Nintendo Direct. So, this time, we're not going into mini directs, guys. Now, this is the full 40-minute Nintendo Direct. You know, before we've had the mini directs in the past, we've had the third-party partner showcases, but no, this is the full 40 minutes of Nintendo goodness. And I should mention as well, if you happen to be a farmer or maybe an agricultural enthusiast, I can certainly tell you probably will be enjoying this quite a lot, or maybe upset because it's not representing your profession properly. But either way, guys, if you aren't any of the above, you will probably still find a little bit of enjoyment out of there, because there are a few gems scattered here and there in between. But anyway, we will be fully covering it today in our weekly podcast zone episode. But anyway, once again, speaking of we, I have returning once again Namz HD. So how's it going, Namz?
Hello everyone. Hello. Yeah, thank you for having me back again for Nintendo Direct. I watched the Direct. I'll give my views on the various games during the podcast, and yeah, thanks again for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Once again, yeah, thank you for joining. And yeah, we'll both be giving our full details, or our full pretty much reactions on what we thought once we saw it. But anyway, there are quite a few games here. As I said, it's a full direct, so we'll get right into the games. So, starting things off, Nintendo certainly love their Fire Emblem, or as I should mention, a series that's fairly beloved by the Smash community. And this is Fire Emblem Engage, in addition to details on the collector's edition as well. But I should mention that Fire Emblem Engage is the newest game in the Fire Emblem series. We aren't quite Fire Emblem experts over here, but we know a little bit about, well, we've seen a little bit about the RPGs. We've certainly been on the receiving end of the tipper in Smash Bros. But yeah, Nintendo started things off with the new Fire Emblem Engage. Now, I will mention that a little bit of this was supposedly leaked before, so there was like a Joy-Con design which had a very similar design or very similar color scheme to our new protagonist, which a lot of people are calling Toothpaste San, based on his hairstyle. It's very, very similar to the Joy-Cons. But anyway, yeah, this is the newest Fire Emblem game in the series, and from what we can see of the trailer, the storyline will allow you to team up with some of the legendary Fire Emblem heroes in past games. So, for example, we've got Marth, we've got Sigurd, and we have Celica, which I hope I'm saying those names right. But yeah, pretty much it has a battle system where you can combine with the previous legendary Fire Emblem heroes, and again, it retains the same strategic RPG elements, strategy-based RPG, and it also has like an open world type map as well. So yeah, you'll be exploring the cities and so on in addition to the battles. But yeah, as I mentioned before, we're not huge Fire Emblem experts, but me personally, I think the game itself, I think, you know, we aren't experts at the game, but we do think that I personally think that it looks pretty good. I like the presentation. You can tell that Nintendo are going, or specifically Intelligent Systems, the developers, they're going all out with this game. And yeah, as I said, it might not be right up my alley, but it definitely looks like they've put in a lot of detail into this game, and they've expanded on the battle system. But anyway, Namz, enough about my day-long impressions of this game. How do you feel about Fire Emblem Engage?
Fire Emblem Engaged. I am not engaged in this at all.
Oh no.
It's just I've never played a Fire Emblem game ever. The only Fire Emblem characters I've introduced to is the ones from Smash. Yeah. So that's exactly that's about as far as my Fire Emblem knowledge goes. Again, is it a turn-based game again?
Yeah, so it's like a turn-based, like a strategy, real-time strategy style RPG game. So yeah, you attack the enemy, then they attack and so on. So yeah, definitely turn-based. But yeah, again, right. It's kind of a shame that Taku Star isn't it, because he's usually the RPG specialist. So maybe in the future we can get all of us on at the same time. But either way, guys, you have us here today. So, yeah, I guess that's turn-based, like real-time strategy style. Oh, sorry, not real-time, but turn-based strategy style game. Right. They also did announce like the collector's edition, so that will include like art book and so on. But yeah, Fire Emblem Engage is coming out on the 20th of January 2023, and I kind of had to think for a second because I know a lot of this is displayed in American dates, so there is certainly no 20th month here, guys. So, but yeah, you can get your hands on that and the collector's edition on the 20th of January 2023. So moving on to the next game, because I don't think Namz has too much else to say about it. I certainly don't. But next up we had It Takes Two, which is the Switch edition. Now this is a game that is made by Electronic Arts US, or published, and it's actually made by a very, very popular Swede known as Joseph Fares, I think his name is, or Fares. I apologize, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but this is the guy who has some very strong opinions on the Oscars. He made his opinions clear during the Game Awards. But anyway, It Takes Two, as we mentioned before in one of our past weekly podcast analysis videos, we mentioned about how it's pretty much a multiplayer only game, or co-op game. Pretty good in the sense that you can like purchase one version of the game, and your second friend, as long as you have the online, like the co-op play expansion DLC, which again is free, completely free. You can play with another friend on another console, so only one person has to buy the game, which is pretty cool. Again, it was Game of the Year last year, back in 2021, or by the Game Awards, so definitely seen as a really, really engaging co-op game. And I heard nothing but good things about it. I've yet to play it myself, but yeah, it goes to show that you can play either couch co-op or online co-op. And again, nothing really too much else to add, because it's pretty much the same version of the game. From what I can tell, it's the same version of the game as the Xbox and PlayStation versions. Seems to run decently. I don't know if it's full 60 frames. I don't know if it's locked. We'll have to wait for some more information. But yeah, again, not really too much else to say, which we haven't said before in the past podcasts. It looks like a really good co-op experience, and yeah, not really too much else to add. But Namz, how do you feel about It Takes Two? Have your impressions changed since last time?
This reminds me.
Well, that sums it up, guys.
Exactly. This reminds me of I can't remember the name of the game, but it's like the prison game, and it's similar concept.
It's funny because I did. Oh man, is it like No Way Out? No Way Out? I did look it up before. I looked it out before. I looked it up before in our last podcast, and I completely forgotten it yet again. So I think it is called. Sorry, it's called A Way Out, I believe.
A Way Out.
Yeah. So you play as the prisoners.
Yeah. It's again, it's this similar concept. 2 players, which is kind of interesting considering like in today's day and age, a lot of games are now like single player or like like multiplayer online only, and like gone are the days where you could go over to a friend's house and play co-op, couch co-op and stuff like that. So they kind of dipping their toes into the nostalgia, kind of bringing it back. So again, I like the art style. It seems from like the trailer, this is like a mother and a father. So there seems to be some sort of story there. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, actually, the story of the game is that it's actually a husband and his wife, and like they were going through like divorce issues or something.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so they're trying to like build up their relationship again, so that you go through all these different trials and all these different worlds and so on. So
I see.
Yeah, but honestly, I feel like 343 Studios, they should be taking some notes at the moment, because come on, 343, Halo Infinite, we need some couch co-op.
But, it looks like a fun game, really. Fun game to play. I think I would, if I had friends, I would play this. But it looks cool. Yeah.
And It Takes Two Switch Edition will be available on the 4th of November. Of course, the Xbox and the PlayStation versions already released last year, and so it won Game of the Year 2021. But yeah, if you want to get your hands on the Switch version, It Takes Two on the go, then 4th of November is the date that you need to look out for. All right, so moving on from It Takes Two, we have a game that I never thought I would see here, and this is known as Fatal Frame: Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, which is from Koei Tecmo Games. Now, this is a game that, the Fatal Frame series, it involves, kind of a bizarre storyline. There are ghosts and ghouls and various supernatural creatures, and you're not armed with weapons. No, you haven't got any guns or knives, or no, not even a ghost-busting machine. All you've got is your camera. So you basically take pictures of the enemies to defeat them, or kind of like ease their souls, from what I've heard. But Mask of the Lunar Eclipse is a game that was actually localized. Like, this has never came out of Japan before. The original version was localized. There was a full English translation, from what I've heard, but it was never released. So it's kind of crazy. They had a finished game there, but they never ended up releasing it. So for the very first time, you'll be able to play it over here in the West. Or pretty much just anywhere outside of Japan. But once again, this is a game that I've heard nothing but good things. It has quite a cult following, and this will be out early 2023. No exact date, but Namz, how do you feel about Fatal Frame?
It looks cool. It gives me very Resident Evil sort of Evil Within sort of vibes. It's very unique in the style, and how you have to go around and like you said, there's no zombies or anything like that. You don't have any crazy weapons. You just have a camera. So if you like that sort of thriller sort of horror type of games, it's kind of cool. But other than that, I probably wouldn't pick it up anytime soon. Yeah,
as you mentioned, very, very different. If you're looking for something other than Resident Evil, as you said, no weapons to defend yourselves, then I guess Fatal Frame will definitely be an interesting game, or one that might catch your attention. But yeah, as I mentioned, this is coming out in early 2023. No specific dates yet, but keep a lookout for that. Anyway, moving on from Fatal Frame, we had another game that was just recently released. Really huge, a really positive response. I've been seeing a lot of 8s and 9s out of 10 in reviews, and this is Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and this one is going to be the expansion pass, or at least the second expansion pass. So this is from Monolith Soft. Yeah, there we go. I got it right the second time. But yeah, Monolith Soft, and this follows the story of a mecha character, like a robot known as Ino, I think, or Ino. I can't remember how they pronounce the name, but you'll be following her story. And in addition to the story, you also have certain various challenge battles in which you'll be able to earn rewards, such as swimsuit outfits. Which, again, guys, if you weren't drawn in by Xenoblade 3 now, then the swimsuit costumes, I'm sure it will bring many fans, or many people that aren't too sure, will hook them back in again. But anyway, as I mentioned, you can earn different rewards through the challenge battles. And yeah, this will be coming out on the 13th of October. So, Namz, how do you feel about Xenoblade? Yeah, I know you didn't really have much history. Well, both of us don't really have too much history, other than Shulk, other than Shulk, pretty much, and the Beyblades, Pyramithra.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm sorry for bringing back the trauma, just the mention of the name. But yeah, how do you feel about Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the expansion pass?
I don't know, if you're a fan of Xenoblade, then I guess this is the game for you. I personally haven't played it, probably never will play it. It does give me very much Final Fantasy vibes. Is it by the same people?
Different studios. Square Enix is Final Fantasy at the moment, and this is Monolith Soft. So they pretty much specialize in, from what I know, the Xenoblade games. They also had a Xenoblade or Xenogear Saga game. So pretty much the Xeno games, basically.
Right. Yeah. So it's cool, I guess. It is very Final Fantasy-esque. So just by looking at the trailer, how you have your group of heroes and so on and so forth, and getting gear and all that stuff. So I don't have much to say about it. The art style is pretty standard from what I've seen in previous iterations of the game. So it looks like a fun game. It looks like a cool game, I guess. It's just if you like it, then I guess.
I think the Xenoblade fans will definitely like it. I mean, they've probably already pre-ordered it now, because pre-ordered the expansions and stuff now, just because I've heard nothing but good things about the game, and been hearing a lot of people saying it's the best in the series. So yeah, I'm sure they'll like that. But I should also mention as well, they also teased a bit of Expansion Pass 3, Volume 3, which will include new heroes, and more tough challenges, as their description says. So, yeah, there's no date on that one yet, but the second expansion pass will be coming out on the, I believe, 13th of October. So, in other words, it's already out by the time we finish this recording. So, yeah, but yeah, keep a look out. Well, no, you don't even have to keep a look out. You're probably playing it as we speak right now, guys. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all of Xenoblade Chronicles 3's. So next up we have SpongeBob Squarepants, the Cosmic, the Cosmic Shake. There we go, Cosmic Shake. So this one's by THQ Nordic, and I don't believe I think this was also revealed in a previous direct, but it kind of expands. It shows a little bit more gameplay footage. You know, SpongeBob will be traveling through the different worlds. You got, you know, a few of the standard characters. You know, you got Patrick, we've got Sandy. Maybe no sign of Mr. Krabs. He never appears in these games. So that's kind of crazy, but. No, they did mention that they will be having the original voice actors for all the characters, so I'm sure, you know, SpongeBob fans will be happy to, you know, get the real deal. None of this fraudulent voices or anything like that. But yeah, genuinely, I think the game actually does look like they've put a lot of effort into it. The worlds look quite like a lot of different environments. You see like the beach, and then there's the like a snow winter wonderland style environment. So it does look like it's quite an expanse game, and you'll be traveling to a lot of different worlds and so on. So. Yeah, but I know that the battle for Bikini Bottom, that was one of the previous games, or pretty much the rehydrated version, which was like the remastered version of that, has a cult following. So I'm sure that fans of that type of series will be looking forward to this one. But yeah, I think it looks like a solid entry so far, but only time will tell. But yeah, Namz, how about you? Do you have similar feelings or?
Yeah, man, it's crazy to see how a cartoon has just been able to stay up to date with, you know, everything that's going on.
Exactly.
It's kind of cool actually, because I've seen quite a few SpongeBob games. A lot of YouTubers play these really weird SpongeBob games.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I think it's decent now that developers are actually producing an actual SpongeBob game for people to play. At
least a high quality one, I guess.
Yeah, a decent high quality one. So I guess, you know, it does pay homage to a lot of like things that happened in the cartoons, like when I think there's a part where he's like wearing like a red sort of hat or whatever. I think I remember watching an episode where he
like
wears
the band, wasn't it?
Yeah, the band one, and yeah, and just, you know, it's just a lot of stuff. It looks like a decent platformer, I guess, and yeah, the various characters. I guess like bringing back the original voice actors gives it that authenticity as well. So
authentic sponge feel.
Exactly. So I guess this sponge is good at soaking up all the pressure. So
he's good. Oh man.
But yeah, it looks good.
It was coming. I knew that was coming. I knew some joke was coming.
But yeah, it looks like a decent game. It's like a decent game. Yeah.
As you mentioned as well, like as you said, it's still relevant in this day and age when it released such a long time ago. You know, the meme potential as well is looking pretty high. So
exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure that people will be happy to add some memes to the internet as well. But anyway, as I mentioned, that's SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake, and that one's coming out in 2023. No specific date from what I can tell. Now, next up, this was probably the game that I was not expecting. I did not see this coming at all. But next up, we had Fitness Boxing, Fist of the North Star Edition. So we've got Fist of the North Star characters here, punching and boxing, and I can't even believe what I'm seeing here. As I said, not the crossover that I thought we'd be seeing, but yeah, I don't know too much about Fist of the North Star. I know that it's a cult classic anime, but yeah, I don't even know what to say. I mean, it looks interesting. I mean, again, you know, there's a lot of you know, I haven't seen too much of it. I mean, this was the last thing I'd expect to see. But anyway, Namz, how do you feel about this one? I don't even know what to say, to be honest.
Well, I initially missed the start of the Nintendo Direct, so I missed this. This is the first time you see me seeing this. I actually thought it was a game. I thought it was an actual game, but
I mean, it is a game, I guess. It's like a fitness boxing edition, just not the one that we were expecting.
I mean, it's crazy. I think they're kind of playing into the Fist of the North Star, just the hype of it, because it's a very, very old anime.
Yes,
definitely. It's kind of similar-ish to JoJo in terms of like the rapid punches and stuff. And I don't know, if you're into this sort of like fitness stuff with a dash of anime sprinkled on top, then I guess this will be the game for you, really.
Yeah.
So
if you guys wanna like keep up with Kenshiro, get those punches in, destroy your enemies, then March of 2023 is the date that you'll have to look out for it. And also that's by Imagineer Studios, I believe they're called. Anyway, so moving on, we had another game, kind of like a party game, and this is Oddballers by Ubisoft. And honestly, to me, this game just looks like Fall Guys. If the challenges got even mini challenges. But as I mentioned, it's like a party game, and there seems to be like different challenges here, like throwing propane tanks at your friends, staying on a boat and avoiding objects so you don't fall off. But as I said, yeah, it just seems like a collection of party games in cel-shaded art style in the most bizarre looking humans I've ever seen. But yeah, just a collection of mini games. Looks like a fun little party game for friends, and not really too much else to say there. But Namz, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I think there's not much to the game, really. It's just it reminds me of was it Crash Bash?
Wow, that is very true. Yeah, Crash Bash. Yeah. Just as he said that, the memories.
Yeah, exactly. The memories all came back.
Yeah.
It's a good if you have like, you know, a bunch of friends over, I guess, and just you guys want to play a game together. It's a good game to play, really. They have a lot of I think you end up having more fun playing with a group of people than actually playing the game by yourself. Like, it will make the game a lot more fun. You know, you guys might end up like placing bets or something. I don't know. You might make it interesting, but the game as a whole, there's not a lot to it, really. But it depends on the type of group of people that you're with.
Very true. Yeah. This is kind of one of those. You know, you finished off your Halos and your God of Wars, and you just want to, you know, relax in the day. And again, maybe you don't quite want to lose friends like with the blue shell. Well, then again, you know, I was thinking of Mario Party losing friends and stuff, but this does seem like it is a type of a game where you could also lose friends as well. But anyway, that is Oddballers, and that will be coming out. Oddballers by Ubisoft, and that will be coming out in 2023. Also, I should mention as well, I did a little bit of research on the company because I'd never heard of. Well, actually, is it Ubisoft? Oh no, sorry, that was Imagineers. But yeah, sorry, I'll just leave it there. Oddballers comes out in 2023. So anyway, next up we have Tunic, and this is from Finji, and this is a game that I've still had sat on my Xbox Game Pass for all this time, downloaded, but haven't yet to boot it up. But basically, Tunic is a game that's like a Zelda style game, overworld style 2D Zelda game, although this isn't a 3D art style. And yeah, you play as a little fox in a tunic, as the main name suggests, and you'll be completing like puzzles, dungeons, fighting enemies with your sword and so on. But the only difference this time around is that it's pretty much the same game, but this is going to be the Switch version. So the Switch version will be launching on the 27th of September, and yeah, not really too much else to say. Same game that you guys have seen for the past few months on Xbox, but the Switch will be getting it soon. But Namz, any additional things to add? I know we did speak about this last time, I believe, but any other things to add to Tunic?
It looks alright. it looks decent. I guess if you want to play Zelda without playing Zelda, then this is the game for you, I guess. Yeah, it looks. It's just basically a Zelda game, Link game, a fox, like similar like maps and designs and stuff like that, and runes, I guess. It just seems kind of. I think this is one of those games that you can kind of play like in between stuff. So if you're going like on your way to work or something, or in your downtime at home or something like that. If you're forced to go to an event that you don't want to go to, you know, you play it when you're there, you know.
Exactly, the perfect party avoiding game.
Exactly.
But, no, it's Zelda. I'm sure Zelda fans will like it. As it's like mini puzzles and overworld exploration and so on. So yeah, that's coming out on the 27th of September. So very shortly. Then again, it might even be out by the time I upload this podcast, knowing my editing schedule. But anyway, yeah, that's Tunic. Now, actually, before I go on to the next game, I do want to go back to like fitness boxing, Fist of the North Star. I should mention As I said, I didn't know too much about the company Imagineer, but in case if you guys are hesitant on getting it, I will say that Imagineer's history includes Medabots game on the GBA, and also such classics as Cinamon Dream Adventure. So yeah, guys, if you felt unsure of whether to get it, just think about it, guys. Think about Cinamon Dream Adventure, and maybe that will give you more confidence in Imagineer and their games. But anyway, so that was a slight intermission there. But moving on to the next game, we had Front Mission First and Second remakes, which Nintendo did cover in the previous Direct, or the previous mini Direct. So this is just like Gundam battles. Can upgrade your Gundam weapons, take it on battles, and it's kind of like a little bit of, I believe, like just, you know, like I was gonna say a life simulator, but I don't think giant mechs are in everyday life. So it's kind of like editing or customizing your Gundam vehicles and so on. But what they did mention this time is that in addition to the Front Mission First and Second remakes, which are going to be coming in November, there's also the Front Mission 3 remake that will be coming soon in the future. No specified date, but yeah, Front Mission 3 is also on the horizon. So yeah, fans, if you're looking for the third game, a remake of the third game, then yeah, you will be seeing that in the future. But Namz, again, I don't really have too much else to add from what we spoke about in the previous Direct. Looks like a solid game. Again, it's a remake of a classic, so I'm sure there are a lot of fans anyway. And it must have been well received enough to warrant another remake. But yeah, how do you feel about these ones, like from Front Mission First, Second, and the 3?
I have no idea what this is. So, but yeah, it looks like you said earlier, like a Gundam sort of turn-based game. Any turn-based game for me is absolutely put off. I just hate it. But what I do respect is that it's a remake. I do love a good remake. I would have loved to have had a Jet Set Radio remake of the first one.
Yes, please.
Because then I would have been over the moon. So I kind of I understand how, some fans may feel about this. So it's always nice to have a remake of a classic and, upgraded graphics and, just it makes everything look more pretty. It's always appreciated.
A familiar game with a new coat of paint, which is always quite nice, especially if you're really into the game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as I mentioned, Front Mission First and Second remakes will be coming out this November on the 1st. And Front Mission 3, I don't think it had an exact date, but it's just 2023. So, yeah, look forward to those, Front Mission fans. So, next up, farmers and agricultural enthusiasts. This is where the Direct really starts to pick up for you guys. So, starting off here, we have a game that I lost. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so it is Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. Now, this is a game that is, again, the clue is kind of in the title, the seasons. It's kind of like a Harvest Moon style game, so you'll be doing a lot of farming, maintaining your farm. I believe there's rearing animals and so on. And I think, again, I believe there are a few RPG elements in there as well, so you can build up relationships, I guess, and even have children, I think it's mentioned. And yeah, have children and they can decide their profession based on your choices or how you mold them. So, fully taking control of your children's life, the controlling parent simulator. But in addition to that as well, yeah, there's as I said, you can have like a wife and children and so on. And also in addition to that, you can, your character will start to show signs of age. So not only, you can't escape the curse of aging in real life, you also be carried over to Story of Seasons as well. But yeah, again, jokes aside, Story of Seasons does seem to be adding a lot of new features to like the farming style genre. So yeah, it looks interesting, I guess. I'm sure farm simulator fans will be very happy about that. As I mentioned, the farmers and agricultural enthusiasts will probably be very happy to see these features. But yeah, Namz, how do you feel about this one?
This is it looks all right. It's not my cup of tea, but it shouldn't. There's a lot of detail. I didn't realize there was going to be so much detail in such a little game. But it's more so like a life simulator, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously, damn. But this is it's a good game again to play in your spare time. It's a good relaxing game, I would say.
Definitely relaxing.
Doesn't seem too hectic or anything like that. I don't know. It depends how you play the game, but Yeah, it looks really chill. And I know there's a lot of people who like these sort of games. Chill game don't really have to focus on too much, and it's not action packed or anything like that. It's just nice, relaxing, and I guess your only enemy is time. So
exactly, yeah.
So you gotta get things popping off as soon as possible, otherwise you be in the dirt. So
the puns, guys. We're here all night, guys. But yeah, that's, as I mentioned, the story of Seasons: A Wonderful Life, and by the name, the publisher or developer even, very fitting name, known as XSEED Games. So yeah, look out for that in summer of 2023, I believe. So moving on, we have Splatoon 3, and Splatoon 3 just released very recently. I believe it was last Friday, or maybe even longer, depending on when this podcast goes up. But this is the game's already out, but they just announced the classic Splatfest. The first Splatfest will be taking place on the 23rd of September. So if you aren't too familiar with what Splatfest is, it's basically just an event in Splatoon. This happened a lot in Splatoon 1 and 2, where you'll pretty much have like a voting system, and you can play games and support your team. And the Splatfest question for this time is, what would you bring with you on a deserted island? And the choices are gear, grub, or fun. And again, the change of Splatoon 3 is that gone from the previous Splatoon 2 is just 2 options, but now we have a whole 3 options. So yeah, and in addition to that, they mentioned that more gear in the form of DLC will be arriving. So yeah, it looks like Splatoon 3 has a ton of content lined up in the future. They'll definitely be supporting this game for quite some time. Namz, I know you haven't really tried Splatoon, the series as a whole. I mean, I've tried a little bit of 1 and 2. I believe my friend brought it over. But yeah, how do you feel about this? Does anything really catch your attention? Does it make you want to pick up Splatoon?
No. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Splatoon. I was when it first came out, I was like, what is it? People throwing paint around, it's expensive. But it looks like a really, really fun, high action packed game. I'm surprised there's 3 of them now, just crazy. So the graphics look good as always. It's always nice to have updates on games. It's always appreciated by the fans and stuff like that. But the only Splatoon experience I've had is again on Smash with the Inkling characters and whatnot. But and how annoying their attacks are. So other than that, it looks all right. This is just the Splatfest update, and you said like DLC and stuff. So yeah, it looks like a cool game anyway. But I probably wouldn't pick it up anytime soon. So
understandable. Yeah, no, just based on your response and the tone of your voice, I know that being smacked around with a giant roller in Smash can really change a man, and honestly, I'm saying that from experience as well. So
exactly,
a little bit of trauma. Maybe we won't go back to Splatoon. We won't be going to Splatoon 3 anytime soon. We have to get over the trauma first. But yeah, that's the Splatfest, which will be running between September the 23rd to the 25th of September. So yeah, in addition to the DLC gear, which will be coming in the future. But again, there aren't any specific dates on that gear. But yeah, that's Splatoon 3 Splatfest for you. So moving on, we had quite a big game announcement, or a game series that has picked up a lot of fans over the years. And this is Octopath Traveler 2, which was announced, and that's by Square Enix. Yeah, Square Enix RPG game. And again, does look very similar to the first game, which you'd kind of expect. It's the same series, but some of the new features that they mentioned were new heroes, so like new jobs, and also there's like a day and night system where jobs and like quests will differ depending on whether you accept it during the day or during the night, or at least that's what I got from the game. But yeah, again, I think Octopath Traveler, as I said, it has quite a huge following. Really interesting art style. Funnily enough, I believe it was it Live Alive, or the other previous game, which had a very similar art style, and you could tell that. Well, I was about to say you could tell that they were inspired by Octopath, but I think it might be the other way around, just considering Live Alive was like quite an old game, quite a classic game that was remastered recently. So yeah, but either way, it's a popular art style, 2D style, chibi characters. But yeah, I think it looks very, very stylish. Again, I don't have too much experience. Taku Star is kind of the RPG expert, but yeah, it looks interesting. It looks like they're adding a lot of new features, and yeah, again, that will be coming out on the 24th of February. So yeah, finally a specific date for this one. Namz, any other feelings on Octopath 2? Again, we did speak about this previously, I believe. But yeah, just again, new feature of the second one and specific date as well. So how do you feel?
I completely forgot about this game. So Octopath, I thought it's about octopus or something, but I guess
RPG experience, but you're kind of close.
Right. Octopath, I don't know. Is it like a play on words? It's like you have like multiple paths, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they did say there are 8 new heroes. So
there you go.
Maybe.
Yeah. Right, that's probably what it means, maybe. But yeah, another RPG style game in chibi form. Like you said, the how the game is, it's like a 2D/3D, like 2D characters in a 3D plane sort of thing. Yeah. It gives me very much like online games that you used to play in the computer. So that's how the characters used to look and stuff like that. Again, yeah, if you like RPG games in this style, then, or if you played the first one, then I guess you love the second one. Probably. Haven't got
the first one. We'll definitely like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I've never played it, so I don't have anything. I don't have anything like good to say about it. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I'm just on the fence. Yeah. So, but it looks alright.
Yeah, we're just like Malcolm at the moment. We're right in the middle.
Right in
the middle. But yeah, that's Octopath Traveler 2 coming out on the 24th of February 2023. Unless there's some type of delay, but for now, that's the given date. So next up, we have another farm simulator. We have Fae Farm. And again, I'm sure that the clue is in the title, even if I didn't mention that. But this is a Fae Farm by Phoenix Labs. And kind of, just see, again, farming simulator. You water crops, you harvest resources by cutting down trees and so on. Honestly, I haven't really got too much else to say about this one. It kind of seems like a diet version of some of the previous farm sims that we've seen, like Harvestella and just a ton of other farm simulators, basically Harvest Moon and so on. But yeah, you can customize the inside of your house. Very, very well. This is probably the one that's closest to Animal Crossing that I've seen. But yeah, honestly, I have not too much else to say about this one. Just seems like a standard farm simulator game. But Namz, anything else you want to add to this one?
Not particularly. Again, it's just the same run-of-the-mill. Well, I don't want to anger any fans, but yeah, it's just like
any Faelites.
Right, is he just as like a standard farming game, really. I guess the one that you can play with your friends. I don't know. It looks like I wasn't really paying attention to the trailer.
I mean, to be honest, they didn't give too much extra information either. So I'm not too sure if they've released information since, but based on this trailer, there wasn't really too much other than just the basics that you'll be getting in the game. So yeah, I mean, I don't have too much else to add to it either. But yeah, that's Fae Farm, which will be releasing in spring of 2023. So after Fae Farm, we had TheatRhythm, which I believe is how you pronounce it. There we go. Yeah, TheatRhythm Final Bar Line. And this is a Square Enix game, Square Enix rhythm game, based, again, another game which I'm sure you guys will be able to work out based on the title. But it's kind of got like a Guitar Hero, standard rhythm game style. You press the buttons in time with the music. And this one has quite a bit of expansive Square Enix series here. So we've got certain series like Final Fantasy, of course, and there's also like other Square Enix games like Saga, Nier, Octopath, the game we just talked about, Live Alive, a game that I pronounce the name differently every single time I see it. And they mentioned that there will be 90 additional songs coming as DLC after, so you might have to pay up for that one. But yeah, a ton of different Square Enix series, especially if you love the music of those series. I'm sure you'll like it. There's also DLC as well in the premium, Premium Dig Deluxe edition, I believe it's called, and that will include 502 tracks overall. So yeah, there's a ton of different tracks here for you final or just Square Enix fans to enjoy. And yeah, I mean, personally, I do like a good rhythm game. I really did enjoy Guitar Hero. I got hooked on that one, and even Rock Band as well. But yeah, that one's available on the 16th of February. So Namz, how do you feel about this rhythm game? You need your Guitar Hero feel?
Yeah. It's definitely once I saw that layout of the notes coming coming down and stuff, I was like, yeah, this is just Guitar Hero, just with Final Fantasy thrown in there, sprinkled on top.
Exactly, a little bit of Final Fantasy sprinkled.
Exactly. I would only because we used to play Guitar Hero, and I have Guitar Hero 2 on my 360. So, and the game, you know what makes those games good is the music. Because essentially, if you take away the music, it's just a button pressing game. You could even say it's like a game with just quick time events, just the whole way through. But yeah, no, the music really makes these games. So the fact that you have a lot of music to pick from, and you have that DLC music coming out, it will definitely it'll probably keep you playing for a while. It's just that, hopefully I know at some point like these games do die out, because new games come out and new music and stuff, which is why like Guitar Hero is like kind of died off a bit, because obviously the older ones have old music, and you want to play that hot goodness.
You want that fresh new music.
Exactly. But it looks really cool. I wouldn't mind playing this just for the music though. I'm not really too bothered about the characters or whatever it is. Just want to hear what the music's like and everything like that. But yeah, if you like Final Fantasy and you like Guitar Hero, this is the game.
Exactly. Yeah, I do love a good rhythm game. But that's TheatRhythm, coming out on, I believe, the 16th of February 2023. So not too far away, I guess. It needs to be here now. I want it. But anyway, so after that, we had Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Now, again, this is a game we've seen quite a few times on quite a few directs. But again, as we near the release date, they're just releasing more and more information about the game. So again, October the 20th is when it's coming out. So only a month away. But on this trailer, they kind of showed a few new things. Like they showed a few new environments. Again, there's like a sandy environment, and a few of the other abilities and weapons that some of the characters in your party will have. So yeah, same stuff as always. They also mentioned that there's certain things called I believe they're called sparks. I mean, again, it's it's kind of in the title of the game of the Sparks of Hope, but we get to see a little bit more detail of the sparks. They're kind of like, if you played Mario Galaxy, they're like the Lumas, or the ones that the little star that Rosalina has by her side, but in the ugliest form imaginable here, with the rabbit faces in them, and they seem to give you like different stats. So for example, one of them has like a reviver stats, and there's cooldowns and stuff. So one description, it says allies within a range are revived by 30% of their max HP, and so on. And there seems to be a lot of customization options here. In addition to that, they also announced that there will be like DLC pre-order bonuses, so it's like weapons, skins, and so on, and also a season pass. But one thing I should mention that they didn't even put in this direct, and shame on you, Ubisoft, there's, in addition to those expansions, as I mentioned, season pass expansions and the skins, one of those DLC expansions will include the one and only limbless hero Rayman himself will be making an appearance. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, they didn't mention it in the direct, but they mentioned it in like a separate tweet, like a day before this direct went live. So yeah, Rayman will be appearing finally. Honestly, when I was growing up, I mean, Rayman was one of my favorite platform mascots, bar none. So seeing him cross over with Mario was what I wanted to see, but we got Rabbids in the end. But no, I mean, Rayman only in one DLC pack. I'm hoping we'll see him in a standalone game or something. But anyway, that's enough about me and my Rayman rants. Namz, how do you feel about Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope?
It's another good addition to the Mario legacy and heap of games that Mario has under his belt, or Nintendo have under their belt. So it's crazy. It's another nice addition. It's just kind of weird that they prioritize the Rabbids over Rayman. It's kind of weird that they would do that, but I guess they're kind of now paying homage to Rayman now, going to finally put him in the game. But yeah, again, like I said before, I'm not a fan of turn-based games, so I definitely will not be picking this up at all. It's probably one of those games that I'll see on the shelf, pick it up, look at the back of the box, and then put it back down again. It's not my cup of tea, but again, there's a lot of detail. Like I said before, a lot of detail in the game. A lot of things that they've put in there, character designs and so on. And Mario finally brought back the Star-Lord blasters.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it looks. I'm pretty sure there's a somewhat decent story in that, and teaming up with Bowser himself, the Turtle Menace himself. It's always a good sign of a good Mario game, anyway. But yeah, it looks alright.
Looks interesting, yeah. But that one will be releasing on the 20th of October, and again, the season pass stuff will be coming in the future with an unspecified time frame, but they will be supporting this game with more DLC. So yeah, look forward to that one. All right, so after Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, we had Rune Factory 3, Rune Factory 3 Special, and again, this is by XSEED Games. So again, I think you guys will know exactly what I'm going to say now, but this is another farming simulator style game, RPG elements, but with this one you'll be able to transform into an animal. So again, in the trailer it showed a bit of sheep powers going on there, which it seems to impact the way that you villagers will react to you, so that's interesting. Adds another layer, but as I mentioned, it's mostly just farming stuff here and there, fishing, bit of fishing on the side, and so on and so on. But one of the main, again, I should mention as well, there's things that you can do with they said that they've expanded on the things you can do with your spouse. So you get married in game, and there seems to be some more events and stuff that you can do. But the big takeaway from this one was that there is Rune Factory Special 3 is not the only thing in development. They have a new series in development, which they announced. So again, they didn't have too much information about that, but Rune Factory fans I guess they can rest easy knowing that their series is well and alive and well even. Yeah, there we go, got it right the second time. But yeah, there will be new Rune Factory stuff coming in the future. Namz, how do you feel about this farming sim?
It's just another farming simulator. Another farming simulator with a couple of twists. You can change it to an animal, and I don't know why, but all right. Yeah, if you like this farming simulator, then it's the game for you. You, like I said, each of the farming simulators seem to have something unique about them. So you find, if you like that uniqueness about the game, then I guess it's up to you if you wanna play it. Again, it's one of those games you kind of play in your downtime. Sort of, not a lot of action. I mean, apart from maybe changing to animals a bit.
Yeah, you get full sheep action from what we saw in the trailer. So there's a little bit of action going on, but. Yeah, as you mentioned, mostly farming type stuff going on. And again, that's by the very fitting company name, XSEED Games. So yeah, again, they're coming out of these farming sims fast and furious. They want a bit of that Animal Crossing Mulah. So again, that's Rune Factory 3 Special, and you can find that in 2023 when it releases. So moving on from Rune Factory, we had a step back on some of the more classic games, and this was the Switch Online expansion pass, and they showed that they will be adding some new games periodically. So they started off with some big ones. So Pilot Wings 64 will be coming out, and again, that's like a very popular, from what I remember, very popular N64 game. I never tried it myself, but I've heard good things about it. And after that, there will be Mario Party 1 and 2. So kind of surprised that they just threw both of the Mario Party games together. I kind of thought they would space it out because, again, Mario Party games are pretty big and they have a huge following. So I thought, they'd drip feed us some Mario Party, but nope, they released 1 and 2. And those 3 games will be coming out in 2022. But moving into 2023, we have Mario Party 3. And then there's also Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. 1080 snowboarding, Excite Bike 64, and the huge surprise, which again, I know this game will probably have the most fans out of all of these ones. Well, maybe not Pokemon Stadium, but this is a pretty popular game, and this is GoldenEye, and this is going to be the Switch, as I said, the Switch Online expansion pass version. But in addition to the normal gameplay of GoldenEye, there's also an online play feature, which is kind of surprising. I did not think they'd be adding that, because the original version was just, couch co-op multiplayer only. So yeah, from what I can tell, it seems to be not only couch co-op, but also online. But I will say one thing that is quite bizarre, and it's not really detailed in this direct, but I was doing a bit of looking at companies tweeting on Twitter. So GoldenEye will also be coming to Xbox Series X and Xbox One. I don't think it's actually on PlayStation, which is kind of surprising. It's one of those rare instances where it's not on PlayStation. But Xbox Series X version will have like a 4K support and full 60 frames and so on, be really nice and clear and smooth. But one major thing that they haven't added, that they've omitted in the Xbox version, is that there's no online version, like no online mode. So that is quite bizarre. I don't know if it's just an error by the company, but they seem to have completely omitted the online mode, so that is pretty bizarre. But anyway, Namz, I kind of did rapid fire go through these online Nintendo 64 games. So anything you want to add to any of these games? Did any of these ones catch your attention, or how do you feel?
They look. It's nice having bringing back the old games and putting them on the newer consoles, and you can have that nostalgia back again. I remember, I don't know, I can't remember what it was that I bought, but there was some sort of pack that I bought before, and then I was playing the original, what's it called? Captain Falcon game. I can't remember what it's called. F-Zero.
F-Zero?
Yeah. It's playing the F-Zero game, so it's nice playing those games. I think the one that stood out to me most was the 1080 snowboarding.
Oh yes.
Because it reminded me of Cool Borders.
Yeah, Cool Borders, SSX, all the classics.
Yeah, on the classics. I'll probably the snowboarding one looks really brought my attention the most. It's always nice to have these older games dipping their toe into the nostalgia and bringing out these older games, especially the GoldenEye one. Because I think in the game you had the golden gun or something.
Yeah, I do remember there was the golden gun. Well, I definitely remember in the Wii remake one, there was the golden gun that they had, and it was I think it was a powered up pistol. But I have to go back and play because I haven't played. I've only played GoldenEye briefly, and I haven't really played much of it either. So I have to go and check. But no, you're right. There was the golden pistol and stuff, and the trauma of a character known as Oddjob. Really short guy. You just pretty much, if you wanted to lose your friends, lose your friends speed run, no any percentage run even, then that's the character you pick. But it's pretty cool because I know it was a similar team that made Time Splitters, and I love the Time Splitters multiplayer. So I mean it's a cult classic anyway. But yeah, I agree with you. These are classic games that I'm sure people will be very happy to see come to the Switch Online Nintendo 64 expansion pass. But anyway, moving on from the Nintendo 64 expansion pass, we have the next game, which I think probably wins the award for the most bizarre title, and this is Square Enix's Various Daylife game. So I mean, this is a game. It's like an RPG style game. What Square Enix does best, and they pride themselves on being able to complete over 100 daily tasks. So usually when I play RPGs, I don't play them too often, but usually when I play them, for me, the most monotonous part is the daily tasks. So, I mean, I don't know if I can see this as an advantage, but hey, maybe they could make it work somehow. I mean, I haven't really got too much else to say. It's like RPG elements, you fight enemies, you form a party and so on. But that game will be available. It said available later today, so basically the 13th of September. But Namz, anything else to add? I know we're not huge RPG guys. We've said about 1,000 times. Guys, please don't play the drinking game. Don't take a swig every time we say we don't play RPGs, because I don't know if you'll probably be in the A&E before the end of this podcast. But yeah, sorry Namz, anything else to add?
Not necessarily. Another RPG game in a different style. It's not really much to say about this, to be honest with you. Yeah,
classic RPG stuff that you find in many RPG elements. But that's Various Daylife coming on the 13th of September, aka already out. All right, so moving on from Various Daylife, we have Factorio, and this is by Woob Software Limited, I believe you pronounce it, Woob or Wub, or either way, there's some Wubs and W's in there. But anyway, this is a management simulator style game. So the plot of the story is that you've crashed and you have to pair your rocket. And again, there seems to be ways where you can build up resources, kind of similar to games like Rim World. But again, it's just like a management style game. You have to get the resources to build your spaceship. And again, it seems like you can build trains and stuff in there, and it seems like you'll be encountering enemies, because I can see you can build turrets and stuff there to shoot down enemies. But I don't have too much experience in these type of games. But Namz, how do you feel about this one, the management sim?
Management style games are really they're really satisfying. Like how I explained before, Thrillville, yeah, that's another management style game, just with roller coasters and stuff. So it is very satisfying when you start from practically nothing and like build up and build up and build up, and you become essentially unstoppable. Because then you want to do it all over again, and it's nice when you get those like really rare materials and stuff, and you start getting a lot more powerful and just taking out enemies like it's nothing. So I understand the hype, I guess.
Yeah, the appeal of these type of games. Very, very enjoyable. Yeah, I don't play too many of them, but I do like watching them from now every now and again. So yeah, I can definitely see the appeal as well. But that's Factorio, out on the 28th of October. So next up we have IB, or IB, I think they pronounced it, and this is like a 2D style horror indie game by Playism. And yeah, again, it's just like a story-based 2D horror game. I do believe there are various games in this series. I might not be 100% right on that one, but this one does look very familiar. It's kind of like a indie-style game that I've seen before. But as I said, it just has like a storyline. You seem to explore some type of bizarre worlds. There's like a weird sketchbook drawing-style world with crayon-drawn flames falling on you. It seems pretty interesting. They're exploring different art styles, but that's a game coming out spring 2023. But Namz, how do you feel about this one?
It's a good little horror game. That's about it. No.
Anyway, next game. So Merit. No, I'm kidding.
I don't have. It looks alright, I guess. Like a little platformer sort of there, exploring different art styles and so on and so forth. It's a good little. It looks like a mystery game also as well.
There is a bit of mystery in there.
I feel like there's more to the main character than they let on, obviously, but it looks pretty. It looks interesting. I might watch like a walkthrough, maybe, but it depends on who posts it. But it looks alright. Yeah,
very true. Definitely, I agree. It's kind of one of those games that I'd probably watch while watch as I hide behind the couch in terror. But no, that's IB, coming spring of 2023. So after that, they teased not a brand new game, but this is DLC for an existing game, and this is Mario Strikers from Nintendo, of course. And they announced that they'll be adding new characters. So there's Pauline and Diddy Kong, in addition to a new stadium and additional gear. And all I can say is, from what I've heard over the web, this game was pretty much a huge disappointment when it launched, like lacking so much content. I think Nintendo have just gotten in this habit where they release, like, especially with the sports games, like with Mario Golf and tennis, they'll like release a game, like a half-baked game, and then they'll just like gradually release DLC. And I have to admit, I think a lot of the fans are getting sick of this. Some key characters they didn't include are like Daisy in the base game, which is pretty much in all the party games. Honestly, I'm not too bothered. I mean, if Daisy wasn't added, you wouldn't hear any quarrel from me. I mean, Waluigi's in there. You got the main Planimas themselves, so we're very happy people with that. But honestly, I don't know if too many people will be playing this game, just because games like other party games like Splatoon have released very, very recently, and that definitely feels like a complete game compared to this. But that's the Mario Strikers DLC characters and stadium and gear. How about you, Namz?
I've never played Mario. Maybe once, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of the Mario sports games, I don't play because I have FIFA. So
very true. You got your fill of football experience.
Exactly. So I guess they do have that element of like the wackiness and the over exaggerated stuff and whatnot. But as what you're saying, if they're just kind of looking at the game as more so like profit than actually finishing the game, then I guess it would be a disappointment to a lot of people, seeing as this is one of the franchises that have gone on for a while.
It's a beloved series, a lot of cult classic or cult following, I guess. But it does, for me, it feels like it's a little bit too little, too late. I don't know. I mean, maybe the game won't completely die out, but the numbers have definitely dropped of people playing it already. So but if you're interested in that will be releasing later this month, so later September. So look out for that, guys. Anyway, moving on from Mario Strikers, we have Atelier Ryza 3, which I don't know. I think I completely butchered that pronunciation, but this is Atelier Ryza 3, and that's Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key. So this is again another RPG style game. Let me see, is this I'm trying to check the developers. I believe it's so RPG style game, and I believe it's another Square game. I have to admit, when I don't know the developer, I just fall back on Square Enix. But yeah, this is as I said, RPG style game. Form a party, defeat monsters. All your standard stuff. I have to admit, I'm kind of getting like Genshin Impact style vibes, like with the open world and the anime style characters. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much else to say, honestly. It seems quite interesting. I know it's the third in the series, so they definitely have a following. And they've said that they've added a few new features. Like I believe there's like some key system, where like adds different effects to your characters and so on. But apart from that, I don't really have too much else to add. How about you, Namz? Anything else to add to Atelier Ryza 3?
Another RPG game, anime style, with a bit of Kingdom Hearts thrown in there, a bit of key systems and stuff. Yeah, it looks alright. Again, I'm not trying to upset any fans here, but yeah, if you played the previous games before, I guess having another installment of the game is always a lovely addition, of course.
But yeah, me personally, not really doing. Yeah, I agree with you as well. Not really doing much for me. So yeah, I'm sure the fans will like it though, because it's third in the series. But yeah, that's coming out on the 24th of February, 2023. And I should correct myself, it's actually Koei Tecmo Games, so that developed this one. So I mean, honestly, as I said, I always have 50 chance with RPGs if you say Square Enix. But yeah, there we go. So next up, we have one of the features or one of the game or DLCs that started to interest me in the Direct, and this is the Mario Kart. Wow, I nearly said Mortal Kombat 8. That would certainly be a good kart racing style game. But no, this is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 3 DLC. And funnily enough, the Wave 2 DLC was just announced like last month. So I was very surprised. I was taken by surprise when they announced this one quite early, or pretty much quite close to Wave 2's DLC. But they mentioned some of the courses that will be appearing. So they mentioned Peach Gardens, the DS version, alongside Merry Mountains, which appears in Mario Kart Tour. So yeah, 2 different courses. I'm hoping they're sticking to their guns of 8 courses per wave. I mean, I'm not too sure why they only announced 2. I'm guessing maybe the other ones aren't ready to be shown off yet. But either way, this will be coming in holiday of 2022. So you don't have to wait too long, I guess. But yeah, Namz, how do you feel about these Mario Kart 8 Deluxe courses?
Yeah, this is probably one of the more interesting showcases in the Direct, only because I have the pack. So only recently I played the Wave 2, and those courses, there was like 2 courses in there that I really enjoyed. So within I think what it is that within the 8 tracks that you're offered, you'll get a good chance of probably liking maybe 1 or 2, because the thing is with this is like they release these tracks and a lot of them are like really heavily packed, has like a lot of like shortcuts and stuff like that.
Very true.
But with for example, like the Peach Gardens one, it's very basic. So that's that sort of like balance that they have. So you are going to have courses where like, oh, this course is really, really boring. And then there's other courses that are like, oh, wow, this course is really jam-packed with different, sort of like Ninja Hideaway, where there's like so many different...
Yeah, that was so many different routes. Yeah, that was a Mario Kart Tour track, I think, I believe.
I think one of my personal favorites was Waluigi Pinball.
Oh, yeah.
Just because I love Waluigi and I'm biased. So
the main man himself.
Finally got his dudes. Finally got his own course, but can't even get a place in Smash.
Yeah. I think he's coming for Smash next, though. He's coming for Smash. But,
exactly. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy that we're getting another wave released so soon, because I would have thought they would have taken their time releasing these courses. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Same. I wasn't expecting it so soon, but yeah, Nintendo, if you're listening, Nintendo Mario Kart team, if you're listening, please give us DK Mountain, give us Rainbow Road 3DS. There are some quality courses out there that you need to bring back. But anyway, yeah, that was the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 3 DLC coming holiday 2022. So moving on from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we had Nintendo Switch Sports, and again, this is a game that has previously released for a good few months now, but what they announced this time is that there will be golf DLC added, and this will include 21 holes alongside like online gameplay, 8 players alongside it. There's also, I believe, a survival mode that they announced was coming. I believe that's Holiday 2022, so a little bit later. But yeah, that was the main takeaway from this DLC showcase, just the golf DLC. Now, Namz, I don't know about you, but I remember back in the day when I used to buy Wii Sports, I'd actually get all of the sports included at launch.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
I don't know what's going on here. Like, I mean, it's cool that they're adding golf, but come on, Nintendo. I personally, I feel like they should have had this one in the beginning. I've seen a lot of people complaining as well about. I mean, I didn't pick it up myself because I didn't like Wii Sports. Matt as well. He was wearing a mission. Although they did announce recently that there was a code to put in, and you can get access to fighting him, which is kind of crazy. They probably should have advertised that in the beginning, because I'm sure that would have shifted a few units. People line up across the world to get a chance at the legendary hero Matt from Wii Sports. But anyway, I digress. As I was mentioning about the sports and stuff, it's a little bit annoying that they're just like drip feeding us some of these sports, because on Wii Sports, I believe like the original Wii Sports probably came with more sports, so it just felt more complete. But anyway, how do you feel about this Wii Sports? I mean, maybe not just specifically the DLC, but also Wii Sports as a whole, I guess.
It's a very
Switch Sports. Sorry, I meant Switch Sports instead of Wii Sports.
Switch Sports. I've never played Switch Sports. I've only played Wii Sports, but it's a good continuation of the series. It's just, as you said before, it's not having all of the sports in one. They seem to do that. Like most games seem to do that sort of thing, where they don't include everything at once. But back in the day, when you bought a game, you bought a game. You bought a game. It actually had all this content. It's like buying a puzzle, and they only give you a limited amount of pieces.
They throw out each puzzle piece every month, and it's ridiculous.
It's nuts. It's crazy. But if I was to compare it to like the original, it was similar to what they did with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, because you had tennis, and then they took away tennis and put table tennis, and table tennis was all right, but it just wasn't the same. Agreed. So they're kind of doing the same thing that they used to do, or they had been doing. But I guess the only good side is that it's a free update. But again, it's true. Even in the original Wii Sports, you had golf in there anyway.
Exactly.
So I don't know why they do that. Maybe they just want to make it look nice and pretty.
Yes, it's kind of crazy. But I should mention as well, I did talk about survival mode coming holiday 2022, but it's actually the entire thing that has been delayed. Well, originally they were supposed to get it out earlier, but the whole golf 21 holes was delayed to holiday 2022, so you'll have to wait a little bit longer for that one, but it's not too far in the future. So Switch Sports fans, you'll be able to get a hold of that soon. And again, if you're holding off on buying Switch Sports until golf, then soon will be your time to shine, your opportunity to enjoy a bit of golf. Anyway, so moving up to the next one. This was going a bit off topic, or going off of games a little bit, and this is Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of Mario and Zelda himself, came on for a special talk, and he mentioned a bit about the Super Mario animated movie, which we haven't heard too much about, honestly. All I want for this direct is to see Chris Pratt voicing Super Mario himself. I want to see some Jack Black Bowser as well. Action going on, but he just pretty much quickly mentioned about how the project is still going on, and Illumination Studios are still working on that one. Also, in addition to that, they had Super Nintendo World, which they teased as well. Like Super Nintendo World Japan has been going for about 2 years now, and it will be soon coming to the US in Universal Studios Hollywood. So next year, I believe. So you guys can look out for that one. But it's been quite a success so far, from what I've heard. I'm guessing maybe COVID might have slumped the number of people going at one point, but it seems to be a success if they're still bringing it to Universal Studios. But anyway, in addition to that, he mentioned about his other games. Well, I know he's a huge Pikmin guy because he created it himself. But Shigeru Miyamoto talked a little bit about Pikmin Bloom, which is the mobile phone game, and it pretty much tracks your progress where you walk, and you can get Pikmin and pretty much give them sap and let them follow you around to your in real life world locations. And I think Miyamoto, you have to be careful. He's showing his walking history there. The stalkers are real, so be careful there. But anyway, Pikmin Bloom was the phone game. which he advertised. I think it's been out for quite a while, so yeah, they'll be adding a few new updates and so on, like I believe a few extra features. But the big takeaway from this was Pikmin 4 was finally announced, or officially announced, I should say, because I'm not too sure if anyone knows the history of Pikmin 4, but when the Wii U initially launched, and don't forget this is in 2014, they said, oh, Pikmin 4 is ready and ready to go, and they said it will be coming soon. And ever since 2014, so it's been a good eight years now, they've been talking about Pikmin 4 being ready to go. But this is the first time that it was officially announced. We didn't quite see any gameplay. I mean, there was like short clips and so on, but mostly just showing off the environments that we'll be seeing in Pikmin 4, and alongside a few images accompanying it. But yeah, it's good just to know that Pikmin 4 is officially in development. I should mention as well, I believe this is the real deal, but there was a fire at one of the Nintendo headquarters, and this ended up damaging some of the servers, and apparently one of the server games that was damaged was in fact Pikmin 4, so maybe the delay will be even longer. I don't know. I can't say for 100%, but yeah, that might delay it a little bit longer, but it's good knowing that it has actually come in still. But one thing they did mention about Pikmin 4 is that they're improving like the strategic element of it, and there's a system known as Dandori, I think you pronounce it, but yeah, pretty much just about strategic elements. But yeah, enough about that. I think that was a bit of a long one there, from movies to Pikmin 4. But Namz, did any of this catch your attention, or any other comments you want to make about this stuff?
No, I have played Pikmin, but only very, very briefly. It's like a strategy game sort of.
Yeah. So you command your flower army of death. They attack enemies relentlessly. Don't be fooled by their faces.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Pikmin, to be very honest with you. And the mobile version is just like Pokemon Go, but Pokemon Pikmin, really.
Pikmin Go, I guess.
Pikmin Go. So
Pikmin Go.
Pick and Go.
Nintendo, you should be coming to us for ideas. Pick and Go, that's perfect.
Pick and Go. So yeah, I don't know. It's a good, I guess. People been waiting for this for a long time. So at least it's finally been announced officially. Hopefully it didn't get damaged too badly in the fire. So I haven't lost too much data or information that they need. But yeah, it's always nice having, like I said, another iteration of the game, continuation of the game, improved graphics and whatnot, and mechanics and so on. So yeah.
And that's Pikmin 4, as I mentioned, coming in 2023, although I'm going to have to put a huge question mark on that 2023 release date, because I have a feeling this trailer was like pre-made quite a while ago, so I don't know if the server fires had happened already since it was filmed. I'm not sure, but either way, based on its history of Pikmin 4, I'm going to have to doubt that one. Anyway, we have another staple in Ubisoft's library up next, and that is Just Dance 2023 edition. And I don't know if the 2023 represents the year or the number of versions of Just Dance that I've released, because there always seems to be a new Just Dance game coming out every 2 seconds. But yeah, it's coming out 22nd of November from Ubisoft. I don't know what else to add to this one. It's basically Just Dance. You get in front of your camera, you dance, and I don't know if there's too much else to add. As I said, it's your classic Just Dance. If you like the previous Just Dance, I'm pretty certain that you're going to enjoy this 2023 edition. But yeah, Namz, how do you feel about Just Dance?
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a fun game.
Oh yeah,
it's a game like with the party game before. It's a lot of fun to play with your friends. I think what makes it even more fun is the like the running gag that sometimes the games aren't quite responsive. Literally one person could be like doing all the dance moves, getting them perfect, and they don't get a lot of points. But the person next to them, like, they just stand still, they barely do the movements, and they get perfect.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even know about that. I know very little about Just Dance, but that is definitely one of the like running gags of Just Dance, unfortunately. But it is a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a lot of fun to have with your friends. It's a good workout as well. Oh yeah,
Right.
I can imagine.
Yeah, this is like just sounds it's sort of like the EA like FIFA and stuff like Madden and 2K, where they every year they have to update it because it's always new songs coming out and people want to dance to the new latest songs, you know.
Yeah,
So
that's true. They always have it updated.
Yeah.
Have just updated, and I'm pretty sure I think this is Ubisoft's best-selling series as well. So
yeah, popular.
Yeah, very popular stuff here. I think it's dethroned like Assassin's Creed and Rayman and stuff. So yeah, very popular game. But that's Just Dance 2023 edition on the 22nd of November. All right, now this is a game that I'm sure the Harvites or the Harvlings, I'm not too sure what the Harvestella fans are called, but yeah, Harvestella. More information was released about Harvestella, a game that we've heard about quite a lot during the previous directs. But today they announced that there will be a demo available later today. So in other words, later on the 13th of September. So it's already out by the time you guys are listening to this. But yeah, they showed a little bit more of the story by the looks of it. It looks like different environments, like a winter-style land. And who would have guessed there is some more farming involved as well. So I think, once again, I think the title of this game sort of speaks 1,000 words. So you'll be doing a lot of farming here. And yeah, as I mentioned, there's a demo available later today, or already out at this point. And from the demo, you can play through the demo, and then you can transfer your demo save data to the full game when it eventually releases on the 4th of November. So yeah, if fans want to get an early start, then I think the demo is the place to go. Anyway, Namz, I know once again, this is one of those games that we've spoken about quite a bit. Any additional thoughts on Harvestella?
No, not really. I mean, I think this is the more in-depth farming simulator that I've seen.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It looks more, to be honest, the farming element of it just looks more like you farming to get upgraded stats and whatnot. It seems like they put more effort into the story, and the farming just seems sort of like a side secondary mechanic, but a mechanic where if you utilize properly can really benefit your character in the long run. That's what I'm kind of gathering from the trailer anyway, because it looks really action packed. But again, it's another farming simulator / RPG.
It's got farming elements, I guess. But exactly as you said, I think it seems like the farming part takes a back end or backbench to the main RPG story. So definitely the type of RPG that I'd pick up. I mean, I'm not a huge RPG guy again, but it's definitely the style of RPG. If I was going to play one, it's definitely one that I'd try out. One that has the farming elements as a secondary. But again, I know that farming sims can be very fun, just a relaxing way to manage things. But as I mentioned, that is Harvestella, which will be available on the 4th of November. So next up, we had probably the game that I most anticipated for me so far. After unfortunately, I hate to even say it, but unfortunately, poor Bomb Rush Cyberpunk delayed until 2023. That was very, very sad times. But probably the game that I'm most looking forward to now is Bayonetta 3, which will be coming out very shortly. But Bayonetta 3, they added quite a bit of extra information here. They showed some more gameplay. They mentioned the name of the main villains, known as the homunculi, I believe they're called this time. Because in the first Bayonetta, you pretty much have to kill the angels. And in the second games, you kill angels and demons. And now this time around, it will be like the bio machine, the bio weapons, the homunculi. And again, the gameplay looks really good. Again, I'm a huge fan of Bayonetta. But so forgive me if Namz, you might have to put your hand up and stop me at certain parts. But basically, just expanded on the gameplay. You can summon the Wicked Weaves. You can again, because in the previous games you just see the giant hands and arms and legs, fists and feet coming out when you do special attacks. The giant weaves attack the enemies. But this time around, you'll be able to transform. You'll be able to fight alongside, instead of just a quick time event where you tap a certain button. You'll be able to fight alongside the summons. So it adds a little extra element of extra layer of the gameplay, which is pretty good. And you can get some extra combos and so on. So you can distract the enemies with the summons, and you can go all out with the combos. And again, they just expanded on the combat as well, the actual Wicked Weaves summoning. Sorry, there's a summon known as Madama Butterfly. You transform into a giant creature, usually a giant creature, but this time around it's just Bayonetta size. So adds another element. Seems like new attacks that you'll be able to throw in there. There's also a new weapon that I saw as well. So, there's like a whip style weapon. Again, there's been whips in the previous games. Like I think the second one was a Rune, and there was another whip style weapon in the first game. But this one seems a little bit different this time, and it's kind of interesting because when you're moving around, it's like a spinning circle. It's kind of like helps you move around quicker, from what I can see. But again, I need to see a little bit more to see exactly how it works. But yeah, it definitely shows that there's different weapon types in the trailers. And again, if it's anything like Bayonetta 1 and 2, I'm sure I'll find it very enjoyable, and there'll be a ton of different weapons and a lot of stuff to enjoy. And again, a little bit more expanding on the story with I believe Viola, I think her name is, the other character, who I think I have an idea who this character is, but I mean, I don't want to get potential spoiler territory. But yeah, she has a different gameplay style, kind of like Virgil in Devil May Cry, where she uses a sword and she can activate Witch Time through parry mechanic and so on. But yeah, before I end up using the last 4 hours, or go rambling on for 4 or more hours, I think, Namz, how do you feel about Bayonetta?
I've never played Bayonetta. So, like I said, only experience with Bayonetta is through Smash. Even then, I still didn't play as. Again, it's a very similar from what I've seen, it's a very similar game to Devil May Cry. Yeah. Sort of, killing similar sort of enemies and whatnot.
Yeah. There are actually a few enemies that cross over from Devil May Cry. There's one like giant spider that crosses over. It seems to be the exact same enemy, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only comparison I can do right now. It's just Devil May Cry, and this is just very similar. She just reminds me of Dante. Just has so many weapons at her disposal. She seems like a very, very overpowered protagonist. Yeah, which is kind of crazy. And then of course with her allies and so on and so forth. So, but yeah, from what I've seen from previous Bayonetta games, they're pretty popular. So I guess it's good again having a third iteration of the game. Is always nice.
Yeah, just to round out that trilogy. Yeah, Bayonetta trilogy.
Exactly. But yeah.
But yeah, no. If you guys enjoy Devil May Cry, then I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. It's kind of like Devil May Cry on steroids, Even Ninja Gaiden Black, one of my favorite games of all time. But pretty much the hack and slash genre style games with deep combos and so on. I'm sure that you will enjoy Bayonetta 3. And yep, Bayonetta 3 will be coming out on the 28th of October. No mention of a demo or anything. I was kind of looking forward to a demo because the first game and the second game had demos. But I will say with Bayonetta 2, the demo came out like 2 weeks before the game released. So Bayonetta fans, there is still some hope. Crossing my fingers every night, But anyway, yeah, Bayonetta 3. I'm looking forward to that one coming out on the 28th of October. Very soon. All right. So next up from Bayonetta 3, we had a game which is from the creators of Danganronpa. And again, if you're not too familiar with that game, it's pretty much it has a black and white bear called Monokuma, and there's a lot of sadistic stuff going on in that game with challenges. It's kind of like Saw, I guess, Saw anime edition, where children have to do these challenges to survive. But anyway, this game is called Rain Code, and this one will be coming out in spring of 2023, and it's by Spike Chunsoft. And this game seems to take a more detective element. It's kind of like a RPG slash Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney style game, because you have like a phantom or someone possessing the main character. That will help you, called Shinigami, who will help you interrogate enemies. It's kind of crazy. It's like an action style as you interrogate the enemies, because you seem to be slashing through different words and like pretty much alibis and all the standard stuff that you'd find in cases and like detective cases. But very, very bizarre. I don't think my explanation can do this any justice. I think you guys have to watch the trailer if you haven't already. But yeah, that's a Rain Code Master Detective Archives by Spike Chunsoft. But yeah, Namz, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, it's sort of like I don't know if it's not a murder mystery sort of detective.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of murder going on in the gameplay. But yeah, it seems like a Master Detective murder.
Yeah,
I don't know fully, but just based on the gameplay, there is some type of detective element, so we'll have to wait and see more.
Oh yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it looks alright. Like an anime sort of style sort of thing. With the Shinigami and and all these different elements going on, kind of compiled into one. So yeah, if you like detective stuff with a hint of like Saw in there, I guess, then yeah, I think you probably enjoy this one. To be fair, not really much to go on. It's nicely detailed. It's a lot of, you know.
Yeah, standard nice cell shaded art style. I have to admit, the
Yeah.
cell shaded style is a bit more common nowadays, but it still looks quite nice, I think. But that's Rain Code coming spring of 2023. So next up, moving from new games, we're going back to ports, and here we have a Resident Evil collection, of course, from Capcom, but a full Resident Evil compilation here. So we have Resident Evil Village, which will be Code Cloud Edition, as they call it, because this will be, as you can guess, a cloud-style game. So a bit unfortunate that you can't get the classic, like the normal games like disc and so on and digital download, because again, cloud gaming, as I've ranted about in several directs, it kind of affects the gameplay, not as responsive and so on. But yeah, at least it's an option for Switch users, and that'll be coming out on the 28th. But in addition to that, there's also a free demo for Resident Evil Village, which I believe is released already, so you guys can try it now. In addition to that, there's also Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil 2 and 3, and those three will be coming later this year. I believe around around December. There will be an expansion pack on the 7th of December, and for Resident Evil Village there will be another expansion known as Winter's Expansion, which will be coming on the 2nd of December. So yeah, I honestly think if you can pick up the Xbox or the PlayStation version, just do that. Just don't do that and don't look back, because as I've mentioned before, I've gone on my rants, cloud gaming is not the future. It's pretty dodgy. Sometimes it's like really unstable. The connection can get unstable, the game can get really unresponsive, so I don't recommend it. It's the same with Kingdom Hearts. But as I said, if you've got no other choice and you really want to experience Resident Evil, I definitely recommend giving it a try, because this was the only Resident Evil that you will be able to play portably. But yeah, Namz, how do you feel about Resident Evil and these ports?
I've never heard of Cloud before, which is probably for the best.
Well, you heard of one, he uses Limit quite often.
Oh,
a lot of traumatizing smash attacks. But yeah, so go on.
But I've watched a walkthrough of Resident Evil Village. I watched a walkthrough of 2 and 3. I think.
Remakes, yeah.
The remakes, yeah, and they're very good. They're very, very good. So, well, if the cloud versions, as you said, are not very good, then yeah, I wouldn't. If you do have the option to play it normally on, the PS4, whatever other consoles, definitely do that. Because these games are really, really good. Yeah, you don't really want to spoil your experience when you're playing through these.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, if you don't have another choice to play them and the only choice to play them through cloud, then good luck, I guess. But yeah, these games are really good, man. So I guess what's great is that they've given people an opportunity to have more access to these good games, but it does come with a price, of course. So
yeah, it does come with a price. But yeah, exactly what Namz said. I think if you want to experience it for the first time, try and go for PlayStation and Xbox versions. But yeah, otherwise, the Switch version is there for you. But yeah, that's coming out. Resident Evil Village Cloud Edition or Code Cloud rather, is coming out on the 28th of October, and the other Resident Evil games in December, alongside the Winter's Expansion, will be releasing in December. So you can look out for that one. Anyway, after that we have Sifu, which is a game that I've seen quite a lot of gameplay of, actually. A lot of people were playing it. There seemed to be like a seafood craze. I nearly said seafood craze, but seafood, the next best thing. We have Sifu, and this is like kind of like playing an interactive kung fu film. So you'll be battling enemies, kind of like a beat 'em up fashion, full 3D environment. But the main catch here is that as you die, and again, this is a pretty difficult game, so there will be plenty of that. But as you die, the more you die, the older your character gets. So you might start off at like the age of 20, and then if you die enough times, you'll end up being like 70 and so on. And again, I have to admit, I don't know if it affects the gameplay too much, but either way, that is the main mechanic of Sifu. And again, yeah, I haven't played it personally, but I've seen a ton of gameplay of this game, and it looks pretty challenging. It looks pretty fun as well, fun and challenging. So yeah, that one will be coming out on the by Slow Clap Games, and they'll be coming out on the 8th of November. But yeah, Namz, how do you feel about Sifu?
Yeah, I've seen a ton of gameplay of this. It's probably one of my favorite games to watch, actually, because playing them, it definitely
You and me both, man. Playing this. Oh man.
It definitely is some learning curve to the game. And I think in terms of the getting older mechanic, I think what I noticed is that as you get older, when you're younger, I think you hit more harder, so you have more damage. But as you get older, you take less damage.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think because I was looking at like the health bars and stuff like that, and where when you get older, you don't do as much damage. But I guess it's kind of this like real world thing where it's like the older you are, the wiser you are, so you wouldn't take so much damage. You know how to defend better and stuff like that. It's more so like down to experience, is what they're trying to imply. Yeah, but the only gripe with this port to the Switch is that it just looks terrible. It doesn't. I already see that the graphics don't look as good on the Switch, because when you have the dock and you put it on the TV, it looks alright. Once you take it out of the dock and you play it handheld, the graphics go down quite a bit.
Yeah, the quality
drops. But other than that, it's a good little. It's a good game to add to the Switch anyway. So it's a very intense game. Definitely requires a lot of concentration to play. But other than that, it's a pretty solid game.
Actually, now that you're mentioning it, I'm just rewatching the footage. I couldn't tell if I was watching Sifu or Minecraft, because the graphics will just drop it. No, I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding. But for real, the graphics aren't that bad. But basically, again, this is just one of those games that if you can just play on a different, like more powerful console, I guess like PC or PS4. Oh, sorry. I think it's on PS4. Yeah, PS4. Or pretty much any console other than the Nintendo Switch if you can. But really fun game. And the Switch edition will be coming on the 8th of November. So after Sifu, we had another Square Enix game, and this is Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Now, this is kind of like a bit of backstory, I believe, to Final Fantasy VII, because again, you get to see in the trailer, again, it follows the stories of Zack. I believe this is like the original soldier that inspired Cloud. I have to admit, I haven't played through Final Fantasy VII. Square Enix, if you're listening, please bring that game to Xbox. I have yet to play it. I don't know where it went. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting a little bit off track. I'm going into rant territory here. But basically, Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII is kind of like a recap or like a prequel to Final Fantasy VII, from what I can gather. And it kind of, as I said, follows the story of Zack, which is one of the original soldiers, alongside Cloud Strife, and also Sephiroth, who's actually a good guy. I don't know the full story of how he turned evil, but I do know that he was a good guy originally. So yeah, I know that there are huge Final Fantasy VII fans, and especially with those remakes that just came out, I could imagine that a lot of Final Fantasy fans will be very excited for that. And again, as I said, I would definitely be in that group if I could actually play it. But Namz, how do you feel about this trailer?
It looks cool. I tried to watch the Final Fantasy VII Remake walkthrough. It's just a very, very long game.
It is, yeah.
So I don't know how far I actually got, but it was a good game. It was really good. I have no idea who the exact person is, because I'm not really too well informed about the lore of Final Fantasy. But it looks like the graphics look really good. The gameplay, I enjoyed the gameplay. It's very reminiscent of when they introduced, or what was his name? It was like, not Cloud, the guy before, the one that could teleport when he like throws his sword and stuff.
Oh, Noctis.
Noctis, yeah. I think when they introduced that game, that was sort of like the similar gameplay.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I guess Final Fantasy stuff.
Final Fantasy, yeah. So it was similar gameplay, or the same gameplay. So yeah, it looks really cool actually. It was really cool. I wouldn't mind giving this. I'll probably maybe play it once, maybe, or maybe watch it instead. But
I think a playthrough's got me covered up until it actually. I mean, I really do want to play it on Xbox, but as I said, it's just not out on Xbox yet. It was supposed to be a timed exclusive, but as I said, I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, that's Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, coming on the 13th of December. So after Crisis Core, we had Radiant Silvergun, which seems to be like a top-down shooter, kind of similar to classic shooters like Xevious and I guess Space Invaders to a degree. But basically, you just be on rails, top-down view, and you just take down waves of enemies, hordes of enemies, and then eventually come up against the big boss, the big bad at the end of the stage by the looks of it. But yeah, I don't really know too much about Radiant Silvergun. I do quite enjoy these top-down shooters, so maybe I'd give it a try. Again, this is by Livewire Incorporate, or Livewire Inc. But yeah, Radiant Silvergun, top-down shooter. Can't really say too much else. The graphics look quite nice. I think it looks very, eye-catching. A lot of effects, a lot of stuff going on the screen. That'll probably be salt-inducing as well, because I can imagine trying to dodge all that stuff on the screen looks kind of crazy. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Not really too much else to say, but yeah, probably a good type of game that I'd definitely give a go. But yeah, how do you feel, Namz?
Yeah, it's very old school with an updated finish. This will entice a lot of speedrunners to play, or probably people that want to do no hit damage run.
Oh wow, yes,
hit runs.
Masochists basically.
Yeah, definitely people definitely gonna want to do that. So yeah, I remember playing Space Invaders and just getting all these different weapons and just doing a crazy amount of damage and just feeling invincible is always the best feeling. But yeah, it seems like a decent scroll shooter, I guess. Yeah,
feeling invincible for you, or experiencing the game over screen for me. So it's two very different experiences, I guess. But anyway, Radiant Silvergun is already out, and it came out on the 13th of September, so straight after the direct aired. So yeah, that's a game out already if you want to pick that one up. Anyway, so next up we had Endless Dungeon 2023. Sorry, coming out in 2023. It's not actually called Endless Dungeon 2023, but this is a Sega game, and as you can see, it looks like a dungeon crawler style game. I'm not too sure if it's kind of like because there's classic like mystery dungeon style games, which is really big in Japan, and pretty much like random generated dungeons. So you get to a new floor of the dungeon. I only have experience with Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but there are a lot of these type of games, or in the mystery dungeon genre. But yeah, pretty much you explore top-down view again, and this one kind of has like an isometric 3D view, but top-down, and you pretty much get to different levels. You explore dungeons with looks like 3 different main heroes here, which seem to have quite a lot of personality just based on the animations and so on. But yeah, some of the environments look quite nice. I mean, pretty dark and dreaded, but I believe they're on like a spaceship with like an artificial environment. So yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of metallic environments. But yeah, basically, as I said, it's just like a dungeon crawler style mystery dungeon game from what I can tell. And yeah, it looks like a ton of fun, to be honest. Not up my alley, but yeah, it looks like a ton of fun. How do you feel about this one, Namz?
Yeah, it looks cool. Looks like a nice little, maybe, I don't know if it's multiplayer.
It certainly does look like it. I mean, they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it says up to 3 players online. So co-op style gameplay. So
definitely one of those. Yeah, it just looks like it's a shooter. I'm assuming it is a shooter. Yeah. So yeah, dungeon crawler, like you said, going from room to room, getting upgrades and stuff like that. And it's always nice to have nice graphics to accompany what you're doing, stuff like that. So yeah, it looks yeah, it does give me a little bit of Dead Space vibes. With, like,
yeah, I guess it's got the spaceship setting.
Yeah, spaceship setting, and then like it's different like with like creatures and the environment and whatnot. But yeah, it looks alright.
But yeah, that was Endless Dungeon by Sega, coming out in 2023. So after that, we had Tales of Symphonia Remastered, and this is a game coming out by Bandai Namco, coming out in early 2023. And yeah, I know that Tales of Symphonia is a really, really big or really popular RPG, or JRPG even. I know that during the time when Smash was adding new characters, a lot of people wanted this main character in the game. Lloyd Irving, I believe his name is, the main Tales of Symphonia protagonist. But yeah, the Tales series, there's quite a few different Tales games, but I believe Tales of Symphonia is the most popular out of the entire series, so I can definitely imagine that fans would be excited for this one. And again, maybe people that haven't tried it will probably see, we want to check this out and see what everything's all the fuss is about, because a lot of people talk about this one all the time. But yeah, it looks solid. Again, I'm sure if I didn't really hear about any additional features. Of course, like the graphics will be updated since last time and so on because it's a remastered game. But yeah, this is Tales of Symphonia. I'll just have to stick around and listen for any new updates because I didn't hear too much else that was updated. But yeah, basically, if you want to experience the classic Tales of Symphonia with a new coat of paint, then this is the chance that you'll get to try it. But Namz, how do you feel about Tales of Symphonia Remastered?
I've no idea who Symphonia is, and I don't know why she has a tail. So,
I'm asking the real question.
No, seriously, I have no idea what Tales of Symphonia is. Again, I grew up on PlayStation, Xbox games. I never was a Nintendo game person or whatever. I never came. Well, it's an RPG game. That just tells you much. Never liked RPG games, as you guys heard many times this podcast. Again, if it is, like you said, a really popular JRPG, then yeah, I guess people would like that. It's again remastered, so it's always nice to see older games getting a new coat of paint on there, better graphics. You know, it just makes the experience a lot better. Similar to like when they released the Halo Master Chief Collection, and you could switch from the old graphics to the new graphics, and you could see the similarities and differences and whatnot. So it's always a nice thing that the game developers do for older games. But
a coat of paint for such a well-respected series. But yeah, funnily enough, I know you did mention that is like you mostly just PlayStation experience, but funnily enough, it did actually release on PlayStation, but it was only in Japan. So I know the Japanese will probably be like really, because again, it came out in GameCube, like a multi-platform. Like the original Tales games came out like in 2003/2004 for Japan, North America, and Europe. But again, the PlayStation 2 version only came out in Japan. So yeah, I can definitely feel why it'd be synonymous with Nintendo for a lot of people. But yeah, as I said, that was Tales of Symphonia remastered, coming out early 2023. Right, so after Tales of Symphonia, this was kind of like a games reel that they had. They just showed a lot of smaller games. It was kind of like a rapid fire. So I'll just go through these ones quickly. I won't spend too much time. But for the games reel, they had Life is Strange Arcadia Bay Collection by Square Enix, Romancing Saga, Minstrel Song Remastered, another remastered game, Lego Brick Tales by Thunderful, Disney Speed Storm by Gameloft, that's coming in 2022, and then there's Fall Guys Season 2 by Epic Games coming out on the 15th of September. Now, again, I know I did say small games, and I know that Fall Guys is kind of a pretty big game now at this point, but and even Life is Strange. Well, all of these games can be seen as moderately sized, pretty big games, but yeah, I didn't really go into too much detail on these games. It's only really short previews of these ones, and I believe that these games have been announced before, so nothing too new that they've shown. Maybe they've just shown a few more little bits and pieces, like with Fall Guys they showed new costumes and so on. But yeah, I guess the main takeaway is just that these games will be coming out on the Switch. But yeah, Namz, any of these games from this highlight reel, any of them caught your attention, or anything else you want to say about these games?
The Life is Strange one, yeah, definitely. It's a really good game. I watched the walkthrough of that. It's so it's one of those crazy ones. I think I want to say that the Life is Strange stuff, I think they're kind of building. Well, I would hope that they're kind of building like a little universe, because they do have the theme of Life is Strange. Like there seems to be like these like young people with like powers and stuff. Yeah,
they all seem to have special powers, don't they?
Yeah, you have special powers, and you go on these quests and you do make choices and whatnot. And it's a really good story-based game, Life is Strange. The other game on there was the Disney Speed Storm thing. I think that's just another carbon copy of Sonic and Sega Racing. I swear.
Yeah, a lot of these kart races, they're all following in there. They all want a piece of that Mario Kart pie, the Mario Kart money.
Exactly. Mario Kart did it well. I think Sonic and Sega Racing also did it very well.
Should give a shout out to Crash Nitro Fueled as well, like Crash Team Racing. I love that game. Nitro Fueled is my favorite kart racer of all time, bar none. So I really did like that game as well. But yeah, I agree. Mario Kart, the Sonic All Stars Racing, those are the main ones.
Those are the main ones. Yeah, those are really good. I don't know for the Disney one though. We'll see. And
time will tell.
Exactly. and then the Disney, the Fall Guys season 2.
You like Disney that much? You had to mention it twice.
Yeah, the Fall Guys one. I personally haven't played Fall Guys, but again watched a lot of it on YouTube and stuff, and it's a very hectic, very fun, rage fuel inducing game. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun. I haven't played it myself, even though I can play it for free.
Agreed. Yeah. They only just recently made it free, didn't they? So
yeah. So I'm not really. I like watching it more than playing it, really.
Same. It's very entertaining. I find it very entertaining.
Yeah. But yeah. So yeah.
So many crossovers of other franchises, like different costumes and stuff. But yeah, it seems like an overall fun game. I have a feeling I might end up picking it up, or at least trying it for a little while, because as you said, it's completely free now. So yeah, that's the full games rule there, guys. If any of those games caught your attention, then you know where to find them, or you know which platform it will be coming to shortly. Anyway, so moving on to near to the end, we had our second to last game, and this is Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Now, this is fun enough. This is a game that me and you have played, Namz, back in the Wii days, but again, it got the full Switch, the deluxe treatment, which is kind of crazy because most of the deluxe games are like from the Wii U days. But they took a Wii game and decided to give it the deluxe edition, and I'm kind of surprised because Kirby just got a new game that came out the other day, like Kirby Fall Guys edition. I think it's like oh man, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a game where you race around, kind of like Fall Guys, and you eat food and so on. I can't remember. Oh man, I'm gonna kick myself for not remembering the name. But it came out just the other day. I think like last month, as early as last month. So the fact that they announced this one, Return to Dreamland Deluxe, is just kind of surprising. But anyway, as I mentioned, it's pretty much Kirby's Adventure Wii, or Kirby's Return to Dreamland. That had differing names depending on if you came from Europe or North America. But some of the new features that they added included Mecha Kirby ability, so a brand new ability, which kind of looks like a Planet Robobot Kirby, which was the DS handheld game where Kirby went Gundam style and he had like giant mechs he could use. In addition to a new mini game known as Magalor's Tome Trackers, which again I'm just taking looking at it. There's like cards and stuff that you collect. So I don't quite know how it works, but I think cards correspond to points or something. And in addition to that, there was also a remake of Kirby's Dreamland, the classic for Kirby's 30th anniversary. So there's a lot of Kirby stuff going on. Nintendo throwing out Kirby left, right, and center, and also there's Kirby and the Forgotten Land, the first full 3D one that came out earlier this year as well. So it's just jam-packed with Kirby, basically. But Namz, how do you feel about this one? I mean, as I said, I think originally the first time I finished it, we were playing it in co-op. It was quite some time ago, so I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this one?
Very, very, very nostalgic stuff here. I'll probably, if you end up like getting this, I'll probably get it as well. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, even the mini games, the ninja mini game. Yeah.
We try not to talk about that. We try not to talk about how he demolished me every time. I tried to forget that, but the memories just came flooding back.
But it's a lot of fun, like different abilities and stuff. And now they've added like the mecha abilities, I guess, just adding more stuff to it. It's always, I don't know what, Nintendo loved the word deluxe. So,
they do, yeah.
I mean, so yeah, it's always nice to see again a new coat of paint on there. Updated the graphics a bit. And...
Yeah. Actually, I will mention as well. That's another thing. Well, not only is it running at full 60 frames per second, so you get that buttery smooth Kirby marshmallow goodness, but it also does have like a updated art style, which is it does look quite a bit different from the previous style, because before it wasn't. Hard to explain, but it's like very stylized now, like a specific cell shading style, which just wasn't present in the original. So yeah, definitely. In terms of, I always talk about new coats, or we've been talking about new coats of paints for the remasters. This one took the whole bucket and dumped it on the game. So very, very different art style, and that one's coming out on the 24th of February 2023. So that's Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and again, as I mentioned, they did mention briefly the remake of Return to Dreamland for the 30th anniversary, but we didn't get any gameplay of that one. So but anyway, as I mentioned, that was the second to last game. So moving on to the very final game of the Direct, we have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That was a brand new reveal for Breath of the Wild, formerly known as Breath of the Wild 2. But we got a little snippet. I mean, it wasn't too much, but we got a little drip-fed bits of gameplay in this trailer. So we got a new look at some of the island, like Sky Island environments, and it seems as though Link will have a brand new, like, it starts out with him like running off the cliff again. It's kind of nostalgic, kind of similar to Breath of the Wild's opening trailer, the original opening trailer, but it also shows that Link will be able to like grab onto a rock and be taken up into the sky, much more climbing like in the previous game. But it kind of reminds me a lot of Skyward Sword, which is a Zelda game that recently released a HD version last year, and that takes place in the sky. But again, the big thing here was that Link will have some type of glider, like bird glider device. So looks like again, like in the previous game, you had the Sheikah Slate, which was like just some old tablet, but it did actually have like it was like an old tablet, but it had like the modern functionality, which allowed you to like pick up objects and use magnesis and freeze time and stuff. But this seems to be like similar technology, just based on the design, and it will allow Link to like fly around on like a bird glider. So honestly, this is probably, I know I mentioned Bayonetta 3, but this is probably the second game that I'm the most hyped for. And again, we got a solid release date, so this is I have to think a little bit because it's got the American dates here, I think. But anyway, it's the 12th of May 2023. So yeah, I don't want to get my hope. I don't want to be too disappointed there and think it was on the 5th of December. But, yeah, it is indeed on the 12th of May of 2023. So you won't be having to wait a full year until Christmas time for Tears of the Kingdom. But anyway, Namz, how did you feel about this trailer? Did this trailer, I know you don't play too many Zelda games, but did this trailer entice you to give it a try, or what did you think?
Not really. Again, I'm not really a big Zelda Link fan, but
unless he's playing as Tingle in Hyrule Warriors.
Exactly. Exactly. But it looks. I don't know why they couldn't just call it Breath of the Wild 2, but
I agree as well. I think it would have probably shifted more units as well, because Breath of the Wild was like one of the best-selling Zelda games. So yeah, I think they agree with you.
So I don't know if this is a continuation. I think it's a continuation, right?
That's a good question. I would have expected it to be, but again, since the name is different, you can't really tell. I mean, the environment looks exactly the same as like the Hyrule environment looks the same as the Breath of the Wild 1. So I would expect it to be, but yeah, there's no, we can't 100% confirm it.
That's crazy. Otherwise I would have just, it's just basically the same game from what I can see. It's just you can go in they have like sky fortresses, I guess, or sky platforms. I don't know.
It looks like sky platforms and stuff. Anyway, to travel.
Yeah, but I know it's gonna have like a lot of mechanics in it. Because Breath of the Wild had quite a few mechanics in there, and people doing a lot of like trick stuff and whatnot. So,
pretty much breaking the game.
So yeah, it looks cool. But I have to wait until next year we'll have
to wait until next year, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it was a good finish to a somewhat mediocre direct. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as I said, if you are a farmer or agricultural enthusiast, we apologize. We don't mean to insult you directly, because I'm sure that you had a very good time with this one. But yeah, for me personally, just which again, it kind of brings us to our summary here of the direct. It kind of felt like there was just the games didn't look bad, but it was just kind of way too much, too samey, too much of the same genre of game, like way too many farm simulators in my opinion, even though, as I said, they looked like they were well developed. But yeah, again, it's mostly just RPGs and farm simulators and stuff, with a few good games. Not good games. I apologize, guys. All the games look good, but as I said, a few like standout games scattered in there, as I said. But yeah, apart from that. But Namz, if you had to give this rating, this direct an overall rating, how would you rate this one?
Oh wow, out of 10.
Out of 10, yeah.
Out of 10, like 10. Okay.
10 being the best and 1 being the worst.
I'll give it maybe like a 4. I'll give it a 4. It was only like personally not. I don't think there's any game apart from Mario that I would actually play in this direct. So because of that reason alone, but again, I'm coming from a PlayStation, Xbox person. I don't really.
Yeah.
I only a few years ago bought my Switch, so I never
converted to the Nintendo side by Smash, I guess.
Exactly. I was converted by Smash. So I think Nintendo have kind of taken a hit now that Smash is out, and it's finished. It doesn't have it doesn't really have
hype substitute.
Yeah,
that character reveal hype substitute just doesn't seem to be there, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I think a 4 is what it would get. Just
completely understandable.
It could have been better, but
I agree. Nintendo not really enticing people that don't really play these games usually. It's mostly one that just appealed to the current user base, I guess, or current player base even. But if I had to give it a rating, I'd probably go like maybe 5.5 to 6 if I'm being generous. Again, Bayonetta 3 and Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom kind of pulled this one out of the mud. It was in the mud there. It was kind of sticking up, and when those games came out, it kind of pulled it out a little bit for me. But again, as I said, if you are a Fire Emblem fan, a huge RPG fan, I'm sure you'll be loving this direct. A lot of quite big titles again, like Fire Emblem. As I said, we've never played Fire Emblem, but we can imagine that Fire Emblem Engage will be massive, really hype for Fire Emblem fans. But it didn't really do too much else for people that are not super into those type of games and are looking for more variety. But anyway, that about wraps up the entire direct. So guys, let us know, what did you think of the direct? Do you completely agree with us? Do you think this was kind of underwhelming, way too many farming simulators, or maybe you thought this is the best thing since sliced bread, best direct, best Nintendo direct ever? I don't know, but yeah, guys, just let us know whether any standout games or maybe any games that you're kind of surprised at. Why did this game make it? But anyway, that about sums everything up. So Namz, huge thanks again for joining me in this podcast.
Of course.
If people are looking for you, whereabouts can they find you?
On Earth. No. If people are looking for me, you can find me.
PC world. Where in the world? Okay, that makes sense.
You can find me on Twitter at Namze_, I think it's _ at Namze_Mohammed. I have a new Instagram, Namze94. My Twitch is Namze HD, and my YouTube channel is the same, Namze HD. Yeah.
So and also I should mention as well on your well, actually, I was going to talk about the reaction, but I think that'll be getting to another direct. Namz does do direct reactions on his channel as well. Not quite this Nintendo one, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But anyway, So thanks again. If you've watched this far, I applaud you. Thank you. You have survived through the farming simulators, and to hear two random guys talking their thoughts and reactions about the Nintendo Direct. But hope you guys enjoyed, and of course, please feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and also hit that bell because YouTube likes to be YouTube sometimes and not notify you when a new video comes up. But until next time, guys, thanks again, and peace.